For 2 days, the earth in Japan has been shaking. In the editorial conference rooms of the regional news channel, the countdown of the earthquake alert system has started. But this quake on March 11th is different. The shock waves reach the mainland before the alert system has even announced them. This story is about the journalists of Fukushima Central Television, who are about to start reporting on a series of events that will change their lives forever. Cameraman Futoshi Yanai senses that right now he is capturing an enormous disaster on video. Well, the earthquake was definitely not the same size as it usually is. And it also continued for a long time. I sensed danger. At the same time, I thought, I'm a cameraman too. I just had to shoot this. I felt like it was my duty to keep on filming. Since the Hanshin Awaji earthquake in 1995, we had been prepared. There always was a camera on standby in the cameraman's waiting room, so we could start shooting at any given moment. One camera is on the floor of our news center office. More cameras on standby in the regional departments. With these, we have now been filming around the clock. This is Fukushima Central TV News Center. A few moments ago, there has been a strong earthquake. Currently, we have aftershocks. It is now 2:54 p.m. You can hear a lot of noise. It is possible more aftershocks will be occurring. Please remain calm and get into safety. Please extinguish fires only after the shock waves are over. By this time, many houses are on fire. At the moment, no one can be bothered with this supermarket. The people are panicking. Many consider escaping. In less than 90 minutes, they could be in Tokyo by the Shinkansen. We apologize for any inconvenience. The operation of the Shinkansen and regional trains have been suspended until further notice. At this point in time, one of Yuka Nakayama's colleagues, the reporter Masanobu Murakami, is sitting in a car on the road with his film team. The trip is increasingly turning into a nightmare. It's incredible. I'm on the Interstate 4, and as you can see, the signs are shaking too. The earth is shaking strongly. I was doing an interview in Fukushima and was sitting in the car. While driving, I felt a strong rattle and thought, wow, that is strong. So I got out in order to report on this. The earthquake is just the first act in one of the greatest disasters in the history of mankind. Murakami can already see the second one approaching. When we were coming into the city, I saw destroyed buildings everywhere. People were being evacuated. They were panicking. I reported on it. The TV station told us to go to Soma City, where a huge tsunami was being expected. Many parts in the region have been shaken badly as it is. The consequences are unique for Japanese circumstances. Run away quickly, we have to get out of danger, go away. Can you see the tsunami? We have to escape. Those who don't run now are in mortal danger. The Miyagi reporters realize this. By now, the flood has the reporters in its clutch. The tsunami pushes everything out of its way, humans, cars. Hold on to something. There's someone on those cars. They can just about jump out of their cars. Many others are trapped in them. Right, onto the roof. Calm down, take it easy. Everything is fine. Climb onto your car roof. They've survived, good. Others still have to fear for their lives. They can only hold out on the roofs of their vehicles and keep hoping. The floods simply wash away the whole traffic. The cars are floating away at an incredible speed. The self-defense force is trying to rescue the people. There has been a sudden change of weather. Snow and rain make life more difficult for the rescuers. At the harbor entrance in Kisenuma, in the province of Miyagi, more damage is looming. The next wave pushes towards the coast. This time, it's not only cars, it's whole villages being flooded. A mass of water kicks ships and houses down the road with incredible force. Around 18,000 people will not survive this flood. They either drown or die from exposure. The water is bitterly cold with only 10 degrees Celsius. Look at the open sea. Something horrible is happening out there. This is the Osu region. It's flooding the streets. Look. It's incredible. It just went directly across the road. The waves crushed the tsunami barricades. They weren't designed for such enormous floods. We're not safe here anymore. The second, the third wave. Only after the situation has calmed down a bit, reporter Murakami realizes just what he has witnessed in the city of Soma. When we got closer to the sea, the ground was completely ravaged. The car simply couldn't pass. This place was about 2 kilometers away from the sea. I was surprised that tsunami reached inland so incredibly fast. We'd made our reports and wanted to go to the emergency shelters. When we arrived, it was dark. We asked ourselves whether anybody was there at all. But then we turned on the camera lights. The place was packed with people. There were so many. They were trembling and very quiet. We immediately turned off the light again. We were the first ones they saw after the disaster. They knew nothing. They asked us what had happened. A student told us he had seen the tsunami. We interviewed him. He said it was like in the movies. He had seen the tsunami downright swallow the houses. Not all those affected may consider themselves safe. They arrived by boat to rescue people. The first night, the team of Miyagi reporters is forced to remain in the city and continues its work. The camera is on the whole time. The true dimension of destruction becomes apparent only the following morning. We are now in the hinterlands, far away from the coast, far away from the harbor. The ships have been washed all the way to here and have caused great harm. This tideland in Matsukabura is famous for its seaweed. Now the ships have turned over, the cars have drowned, the houses have been washed away by the tsunami. Misery upon misery. I can't put it any other way. I've just been cycling around on my bicycle and came across a dead man. An overview of the results is obtained from the air. Nothing is like it was anymore. The quake and the flood have changed the whole region forever. The people are desperately searching for survivors. Hardly a house remains. The people are facing the ruins of their existence. Excuse me, where were you?
I was over there in that white building all night. It was horrible. I escaped onto the rooftop, but then everything just blew away. I just held on. 3 of us went over there. 1 left his wife behind. They later found her dead body. All hell broke loose.
At sunrise, we separated into 3 teams and drove off. When my cameraman and me reached the affected region, we saw that the houses were either completely destroyed or had just vanished. It was crazy. We went up to the higher position. It was complete disaster. I had no idea what to say anymore. A horrific sight. Everything was in shatters, and there was fire everywhere. Even today, I find it difficult to find the right words. I try to avoid using the word hell. I always spoke of damages and of the horrible situation the people here were in. I knew many had died. My knees were trembling, but I just had to report. So I ignored my feelings and kept shooting. My family, of course, was in the back of my mind, but I couldn't get in touch with anybody. That's why I was very worried. But in the end, I was completely absorbed in my work.
私は小さい頃からアナウンサーになりたいっていうのが夢だったんで。
I wanted to be a TV announcer when I was a little girl even.
自分の夢を
That was my biggest dream.
育てて。
In Fukushima, my dream came true.
大事な場所で。
That's why for me, this is a special place.
その福島でいろんな経験を16年重ねてきて。
Over the past 16 years, I've learned about many things. Then I reported on the damages caused by the tsunami. I now feel like I'm doing something useful.
で、もう津波の被害を見たら、なんか。もしかしたら
If I had been here at the wrong time, I could have also died during the coverage.
私も命を落としてたかもしれない。でも
Luckily, I still enjoy good health, so I can repay the region with what I've received from it. My life.
だと。今こそ恩返しするために生かされてるんだっていう気持ちになって。
Hello, excuse me. We are from Fukushima Central TV. Was this a shop once?
こちらのお店だったんです。
Yes, it used to be my shop, but I evacuated without anything with me. I was proud of this place. However, it is no longer the case. You see, this is how it looks now.
The sea has changed from being a friend into being an enemy.
This is it. Oh man, this used to be the house. Has it been washed away? Oh dear, it's over now. The ground floor was flooded and the rest of the house is uninhabitable by now. This house too? This one has been badly damaged as well. The second floor is all right, but the ground floor is totally destroyed. How are you now? I am very sad. The earthquake and the tsunami, it frightens me. I really loved the ocean, but not anymore. I don't want to live here anymore on an ocean side like this. I've had enough.
One of those who stay is Takashi Sato, head of the news department of Fukushima Central TV. He knows the region like the back of his hand and is aware of the forest's pitfalls. This is a so-called bear bell. The bear normally is nervous and afraid. If a bear runs into a human being by accident, they get a fright and attack. This bell tells the bears that a human being is approaching, so they don't attack. That saves both sides from harm. An old Japanese wisdom. Sato leads us to a spot in the forest where 10 years ago, on his initiative, an automatic camera was installed. Since then, it films around the clock. Also on March 12, 2011, the day after the earthquake. I knew that if something happened in the nuclear power station, it would be something serious. After the disaster in Chernobyl, I figured it would be good to install a camera here. I believed it easily conceivable that at some point an accident might happen. I could have never imagined these dimensions. At that time, there was only one camera pointed at the nuclear power station Fukushima Daiichi. Its pictures show the inhabitants of the region and the whole world the true extent of the disaster. We had 3 cameras focusing on the nuclear power station. The oldest, which we had installed originally, is 17 kilometers away, but functions. It had reactor number 1 in focus. We weren't able to telecommand it, but it filmed. While I was watching the pictures of the surveillance camera, suddenly a lot of smoke rose up. I hadn't seen anything like it before in 20 years of work as a cameraman here. Normally we record this round the clock on hard disk, but this I additionally wanted to record on video. After a while, a colleague told me the smoke was covering up the whole reactor already. So I took a closer look at the monitor. I knew instantly that something was utterly wrong. So I pressed record and looked at the whole thing in close-up. Then I saw the building of Reactor 1 explode open. For a moment I was frozen in shock. But then I instantly told our boss. What had happened right in front of our eyes? What was this? On the footage, you no doubt see villages and forests. No question about it, there are people living there. It was important to tell these people to evacuate as quick as possible. That is why we switched from a national broadcast to the breaking news as fast as possible.
A minute ago, a big cloud of smoke escaped from reactor number 1 of the Fukushima nuclear power station. Big bellows of smoke escape and drift off, heading north.
It may also be steam.
It may also be steam instead of smoke. These images show the situation at 3:36 p.m.
My parents' house is approximately 30 kilometers away from the power station. When I saw this, I thought I have to immediately tell my parents, friends and neighbors to get out of danger. I wanted to get that message across as quickly as possible. It's the beginning of Act 3 of one of the worst disasters of the century. When I heard the explosion, I just figured I'd better jump into my car and get out of there. A critical point must have been reached. The sound of the explosion was frightening. The reporters are now on duty around the clock and deliver as much information as possible.
川内村という30キロ圏内の村が全総避難するときに
I still remember the village Kawauchimura being evacuated.
さよなら
It's 30 kilometers away from the nuclear power station. When the residents left the village, the mayor said, "Goodbye. I wish you all the best, above all, health."
離れなきゃいけないということが
I had to report about it.
そんなことない
I actually did not comprehend why people had to leave their homes.
感情的になってしまうんですが、なんかなんでしょうね、そう。
Excuse me, it still makes me sad when I think of it.
あの頃、一緒にやっぱり生
I
きて
had
きた
the feeling back then that I share my destiny with all these people,
その人
that
た
I
ち
share
に
my life with
取
them.
材はしてきてたし、そういう中で
And every time this feeling returns,
自分がそういう状況になったらどうなるだろう
and
か
I
って。
just can't control
そういう気持ちにな
it.
ってしまうと、その感情を抑えることができなくなっていたんで、ですね、すいません。
The pictures of Fukushima Central Television's automatic camera record another hydrogen explosion. The radioactive exposure in the city of Fukushima is 500 times bigger the following day. Gradually, the reactors, which were in operation at the time of the tsunami, spin out of control one by one. The FCT team is split in two factions. Many of those working round the clock have little empathy for those who went home to their families. For me, the most important thing was to guide the employees still in the office and at the same time support those who had returned home. Everybody was under pressure emotionally, and everyone reacted differently. Honestly, would there not be a wall between us? I'm not saying there won't be at all. Even now, a year and a half afterwards, sometimes it's painful to think that way. Is there still hope for Fukushima? A future? Is there hope for those who still live in the area? At the moment, I can only express my deepest regrets to the people of Fukushima. I will do everything to give them back some hope. That's all I can say at the moment. It is very difficult to say yes or no. But we will work as hard as we can for this. At this moment in time, no one could tell the people whether they would be able to return to their houses, let alone when that would ever be possible. Within a range of 20 kilometers of the nuclear power station, towns and villages were completely abandoned. The inhabitants had to drop everything. Many of them found shelter with relatives. Others live in emergency shelters. In the beginning, they believed they'd soon be able to return to their houses. Only weeks later did they realize, probably they would never be able to live there again. Here in Futaba, 5 kilometers from the nuclear power station, it used to be possible to lead a quiet and peaceful life. The town had 7,000 inhabitants. The close-by power station added to its affluence. Now, the deserted houses serve as a grim setting for a tragedy of unknown dimensions.
There's no excuse for being the only one that survived.
What are you bringing today?
I want to give my dead relatives a present. I brought a lot of things. My sister-in-law loved tomatoes. My mother loved crunchy sugar bread. That's what I brought along.
These are all things to eat?
That's right.
Not until 8 weeks after the atomic ultimate MCA does the government allow the residents to enter their former homes. They return to the place where they lost loved ones. This woman carries her mother's favorite dish and her sister-in-law's favorite music into the prohibited area. She herself once lived here. The sight makes her want to cry. She cries for her sister-in-law and for her mother. The tsunami has killed them both.
Why did you run away, stupid? That's my sister with her husband.
The husband was never found?
No, neither was my mother.
Relatives leave flowers and presents for the victims. Many of them can't even offer their relatives a grave. Even today, 2,000 people are missing. The bereaved bid farewell with a prayer to their families, friends, and acquaintances. It is also a farewell to the former home. One thing is for sure, the survivors must begin a new life somewhere else. To start a new life, they also need certain things from inside the house. This couple returns to their house to pick up some clothes. What they find comes as a surprise. That's Dama.
Dama, come here. Come over here. Does she look savaged?
Yes, quite so.
Well? Let's put a bucket outside. Dama, what a pity. She's crying. Good girl. I know there was nothing for her to eat.
Here they have to leave the animals behind again.
Dama! I'm so sorry. Good luck.
A group of politicians wants to gather information on the state of the farms. They are driving to the radioactively contaminated area near Minami Soma, to a farmer who had to leave his animals behind in this stable. Some cattle have survived the disaster. The majority has starved to death. Others have savaged. It looks as if it's waiting for someone. This is Hiroko, and she belongs to a farmer's couple which has just been brought to the prohibited area. The farm woman is looking forward to finally see her animals again, even if only for a few hours.
If Hiroko the cow is there, there must also be more cows inside. I just know it.
This woman is happy to finally be able to visit her own home. She has no idea of what to expect.
Sorry, would you please do not go any further? Because otherwise the cow will run away. If it gets loud, it will come running to us. Please be careful. Oh dear, they didn't get out. I am so sorry. I would have so much wanted to let you out. Oh no, why? She couldn't run away. I am so sorry. They didn't get out, not even the calf.
Only one of the farm woman's animals has survived. Speechless, she stands before the remains of her animals, which once meant the world to her. Only a limited number of accesses are allowed to enter the prohibited area, and everyone has to wear protective suits. The radioactive radiation is still much too dangerous. The protective suit that I'm wearing just now, it's not so easy to put it on. The whole thing is awkward. And it is quite hot in here. The material doesn't let any air inside, that's why it gets warm. And if you have to go to the bathroom, it is very inconvenient. Because of the heat, you're always thirsty. Inside the restricted area, one is not allowed to drink, though. That's really tough. Yanai carries on filming in the prohibited area. He discovers a couple that returns to where their house once was without protective suits. You can see the nuclear reactor from here. What do you think? How far away is the first block? Maybe not quite 5 kilometers. What are your feelings looking at this?
If I look at the flowers which I used to take care of, my heart aches. I found my daughter-in-law's shoes.
Seeing this makes me so sad.
But we were rescued, and that gives us the strength to carry on.
This seems like a cemetery. Probably no one will ever come here again.
原発事故によって、被害を受けたこの浪江町をはじめ、その、
The accident in the nuclear power station has greatly damaged Namie-cho and other cities.
取り続けて、それを発信することによって、
Even if upon first sight hardly anything has changed.
原発っていうものに対して、原発事故みたいなものを風化させずに伝えて、
I keep filming this area and will continue reporting so the accident is not forgotten. And so the people will learn their
できる
lesson.
だけこのやっぱり現実を見てほしい。
That's what I want to achieve.
まずその
I want people
爆発
to
した時
face
の
reality
爆発した
for what it
映像を見
is.
てやっぱり視聴者には判断して避難する。
When the power station exploded, the people were forced to
与えら
watch.
れる
With my video, I want to enable the viewers to make their own choice whether they want to escape or not in the future.
自ら
Yes, I believe I want to gather the information I need myself.
方向性
I don't want material to be handed over or assigned
す
to
ご
me.
く選ばなくちゃいけない
I want to show the people what the situation in this region really is like.
探していく
My camera is the tool to show the whole truth.
感じますね。
That is what I
事実を
want.
伝えたいっていうことだけですね。できるだけ多く撮って見てほしい。事実を知ってほしいっていうことです。
The catastrophe has left its mark on the minds of the staff of Fukushima Central TV. The memories can only attach themselves to ruins. Sato spent 6 years of his adolescence in this area.
6時50分ぐらいに自宅を出てこの坂を下って
I would leave home at 6:50 and would take the downhill path.
7分発かな
From this stop, I would take the train at 7:07.
で高校に通ってた。
The ride would last an
勉
hour.
強する高校生だったつもりだからさ。
At that time,
電車
I
に乗
was
っ
in
て
high
すぐ
school.
にね、カバン開いて
I used to be an eager student.
教科書出して勉強してたり。
As soon as I sat down on the train, I would fish out my stuff and start learning.
そんな電車に乗った駅だよね。
Sometimes I would go up and talk to a girl.
情けない感じだね。こう悲しい
That's what happened back there at the station. How sad.
なんていうんだろう
What can
な
I。say?
まさかこう
I
やって
would
ね
never have imagined it would look like this
思わな
here.
かったし
The dike is gone.
ね、
There's nothing.
んだよね。で、こう悲しいというより
I'm
は
not sad,
情けないという
more
か
ashamed.
うん、こう
I've lost all my memories of this
こういう風景
landscape.
を全部なくしちゃったけども、ここも
Also, nothing is like it used to be anymore.
この海を眺めたよ。
Naturally, I used to look out onto the sea when I was waiting for the train.
かなこう
How can I
喪失
explain?
感っていうのか。
It's a feeling of loss.
歩くってなったら歩かなかったら。あんまり泣いてもいい。
Many of my friends are homeless.
だけどこんなって失ってしまうと
I shouldn't have agreed to come back to the train station. It's impossible. I know. I know it's useless if I cry.
どう
I've lost so much already.
頼りないというかね。
I just feel helpless. I'm afraid this is not much of an interview.
いいインタビューになってないね。
どんな女の子だ
What was the girl like?
そこまで聞くか。
You're very curious, aren't you? What's her name?
なんていう名前だった
言わなくちゃいけない
Do I
か
have to answer?
ら。名字だけな。
Only your last name. Kominato.
いかんか。
Oh, no, no, no.
ぜひ今度は
I'd like to get to know her.
いや彼女も会いたいって言ってる。
She said she would like to meet me, too.
実はこの
But her home at Yotsukura, Iwakai, was destroyed by the tsunami.
自宅が津波に被災してる。
She's homeless now.
で、
I heard it through common friends. Someone told me about
くら
her.
いのつながりでそういう噂が流れてきて、会いたいねって話をした。なんちゅうインタビュー
What an interview. That's it.
ありがとうございます
Thank you very much.
あれがディレクター
Well,
か
are you really a director?
個人的な
I'm
質問
sorry for asking private questions.
監督。
Thank you.
ありがとうございました
The destroyed sectors of the nuclear power plant Daiichi are clearly visible in May 2012. About 3,000 people still work in the station's buildings. Today, journalists and government officials have the possibility to visit the ruins of disaster. They can only access wearing protective suits, respirator masks, and complete covering of their skin. The radiation in the facility is still dangerously high. Here, disaster has reached a new dimension after the earthquake and the tsunami. In this reactor, the ultimate MCA, from which the region will probably suffer for decades, began. The journalists are allowed into the totally destroyed power station. They want to get an overview of how the clearing work proceeds. It will take years until the destroyed nuclear power station is completely dismantled. Workers try to figure out the degree of core melt in the various reactors, as yet without success. Even though the level of radiation is not as high as at the time of the accidents, the reactor still immediately contaminates the environment. Still, not all the leaks have been found. The journalists and government officials head home with these impressions, and with the certainty that Fukushima Daiichi will keep them busy in the years to come. Not to mention the unforeseeable consequences. No one knows what effects the disaster will have on human health. People are split over the question whether cancer will spread due to the radioactive radiation. Current research studies contradict one another. There are no empirical values which radiation doses can become dangerous for humans in the long term. Reporter Murakami lives outside the prohibited area. Radiation is still 10 times higher than before. For fear of the consequences for himself and his family, he cleans his house with a steam jet from time to time. The station allowed me to leave the area. Full-time employees were free to leave, and well, some employees have actually left, but not me. I wanted to stay here.
But I was very afraid. When I saw my husband enter the nuclear power station with heavy gear, I mean the protective suit and mask, of course, I wondered if his safety was really ensured with the suit, whether all was okay and what the situation was like on site. I really was quite worried.
His family offers Murakami security and comfort, even if he can't be with them often because of his work. My family supported me. The children wrote me a letter. Even the children worry, I thought. From that moment on, I knew, now I have to persevere, do the best I can at my job. On these walls, all the films we shot on March 11th and afterwards of the disaster and its results are recorded. Normally we don't do this, but we did then. We have put up these lists on the walls, so the editors and the cameramen find what they need at a glance. Here we have March 11th and 12th. Here we have Fukushima Power Station number 1 hydrogen explosion. In the first year after the disaster, we have used 6,000 tapes. We normally use 1,000 tapes in the course of a year. That's how you can see how much material we actually have collected. About 1.9 million people live in the Fukushima area. The idea that this region would simply be written off by Japan and the rest of the world and would remain isolated is intolerable for me. There are 1.9 million people who dream of a better future. They try to at least rebuild parts of their lives. That's why we must help them. Our news are supposed to encourage them. We want to continue doing so. Meanwhile, a sports ground near the power station serves as a hazardous waste deposit. In the black plastic bags, contaminated plants are stored. Farmers are growing new crops on the clean fields a certain distance away from the restricted area. They are supposed to ensure a future for the farmers. Many farmers in Fukushima produce rice. By now, there is lots of rice which is not radioactively contaminated. Nevertheless, nobody buys it. Us, the media, have the responsibility to inform the people and to educate the consumers. After the disaster, also those who grow rice outside of the prohibited area have a hard time. Not many consumers want to buy their products anymore. That's why each sack is closely checked for radioactivity. The farmers whose fields were affected by the radioactive contamination also have a future. If radioactive results are found, the farmers try to reduce them instantly. And if they keep doing so, public opinion will change for the better each year. I believe there is a future for the farmers that were suffering from the contamination in Fukushima. If they would be able to put the same amount of effort into their farming, they'd be able to save their farms. We just had to record what was going on right now. Right now. This is important. But what's more important is how the people who live here react upon that. Why? Well, after 10 years, or maybe 50 years, these feelings may reach the younger generations. Well, along with the data of what had happened. I would just like to record the emotions that people had. The Murakami family closely examines which products end up in their trolley. The children always wear so-called dosimeters around their necks. These continuously measure the radioactive pollution, no matter where the children happen to be.
Thinking of the farmers of Fukushima, I'd like to eat products from there. But since my children are still small, I try and buy the things from as far away as possible.
周りから強くなったねって言われるんですけど。
People close to me claim that I have grown stronger. No idea what could have made me stronger. Maybe something inside has grown stronger. I still act and react timidly, though. What can I do about it? Everyone here has changed, whether they want it or not. We have witnessed a disaster which happens once in 1,000 years. I try to spread good news. I am one of the victims and want to stay by those living in Fukushima. That sounds really good, doesn't it? I want to live under the same conditions as they do. I want to get an idea of what these people want to know and what they suffer from. I want to gather material and information for my reports as good and as much as I can. And I want to pass on this information. This thought cheers me on. If I ever had a child, it would probably be handicapped. And they hold us responsible. The situation in Fukushima is bad. It's radioactively contaminated. People living outside of Fukushima ignore me. Was it really my fault? How long will I have to keep on suffering?
A few high school girls are rehearsing a critical theater piece about their life after the disaster. Murakami has been watching them for a while. Adults always say that children are the builders of the future, and the young people carry the future on their shoulders. But the children would probably say that the adults don't even listen to them at all. The adults have, without thinking of the children, simply created a future. And the young people have to shoulder it now. And they even warn us to first think and then act. Isn't that irresponsible? I would like to lay stress on the idea that adults themselves should do some thinking first. It will take 30 to 40 years until everything that has to do with the nuclear power station has been decommissioned. And then young people will once again be the pillars of society. I wonder what they are thinking and what they are afraid of. I would like to spread this news among the people. The adults shall take care that they do not create an irresponsible society, but a society that is for the benefit of our children and their children.
思えるようなメッセージを伝えられればいいなと思います。
I believe our mission is to keep reporting about the people in the Fukushima area.
福島に関わってくれる人の
I want to interview as many people as I can with my camera, so that future generations learn what people were thinking right now.
こんなことを考えてたんだよってことを将来の人たちに
It
伝
is
えるため
important
に
for me to record as many voices as
カ
possible.
メラを回し続けていろんな声を
There are so many people I still want to interview.
今本当に今その声を拾う
Even
だ
in
けで精一
Tokyo,
杯
people are starting to forget
でも
about
拾い
us.
きれない声がたくさんあるから本当にいくら回しても
I fear that our pictures and voices will be forgotten.
忘れられていくし被災地の映像
That is why it is my obligation and commitment to keep reporting from Fukushima.
にやっぱりこう福島から発信していかなきゃいけないっていうのも使命だと思いますが。
For the children of the future, you have robbed this world of its meaning. You have destroyed it. Whoever hears this, please help us.